You're listening to Top 4, a new series presented by the GamePitch podcast.
Join hosts Brandon and Eli as they build gaming Mount Rushmores every week.
Enjoy topics that range from the best multiplayer types to the top bug Pokemon.
Catch fresh episodes of Top 4 every Wednesday on the Project Nerd Network.
And don't miss new episodes of the GamePitch podcast, dropping every Monday morning.
Let's get ready to rank.
Hello and welcome to the Top 4 and More podcast, brought to you by GamePitch on the Project Nerd Gaming Network. I'm Elijah, and as always, I'm joined by the festive, the more powerful holiday Brando Snow. Shoo, 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 shoo. That's the snow falling down.
What's up, everybody? Hey, Elijah, how are you doing today?
You know, I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling the juices. It's been a while since we've got to record.
It has been, yeah. I'm looking forward to this episode, though.
Yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff coming your way for the holidays here. We have a crossover episode with GamePitch. We have some Game of the Year stuff we're gonna do. Like there's a lot happening in the world of the pods here.
Yeah, so look forward to all of it and listen to all of it, please.
I appreciate. See, I like the plea. Oh my god, please listen. As always, if you never listened to the Top 4 and More, we make gaming Mount Rushmores out of different topics of gaming. But this time, because next gen is just so hot, I picked the things that we like about our new consoles. So Brandon has both. I only have the Xbox, so he'll be able to dig maybe a little deeper than I can even. But I mean, the reason I picked this, it's pretty obvious. The new generation consoles are coming out. But I guess, Brandon, maybe we should just open, like, how you feeling about your consoles so far, bud?
Dog, I love them. I love them.
Is the PlayStation as big as people say?
Dude, it's a chonky boy. It's massive. So I got the one with the disc drive, obviously, because I like how the games look on my shelf. And it's freaking huge. I had to buy a new entertainment stand to fit both the Xbox and the PlayStation 5 in my like little TV stand area. That's how big it is.
That's incredible. I love that. Excellent times. excellent times. I have my Xbox. It's laying flat because the little thing that I got the Xbox Series X, not the Series S, and it's laying flat because I have this like razor thing that would like rise my Xbox like One originally like above the like, so it doesn't have to be like on a desk, so it can be like elevated a little bit above the cabinet. But like I just felt bad with it like standing up, like the weight would be too much and make it like collapse on itself. So I laid it flat. So mine is laying flat right now. So yeah, I think, we're just going to probably get into a lot of next gen talk with this, but really, the main thing is I just want to hear some of the things you loved about, your new consoles. I'll share some of the things I loved about my new console. Of course, it'll be the top 4 things. Do you have any honorable mentions?
Just one. My honorable mention is foreshadowing.
What?
Foreshadowing, because we're going to be talking about maybe, I don't know, some games or something maybe next week here on the Top 4 and More podcast presented by GamePitch podcast on the Project Nerd Network.
Yeah.
I've got some dishonorables as well. Yeah. So only 2 actually. So my first being cloud save management on PlayStation, because man, it's real garbage. It's the worst, and I hate it so much.
And it's very, very easy on the Xbox.
It's so ridiculously easy on the Xbox. Like I booted up Forza Horizon 4, I think, which I had played like one time on my Xbox One X. Don't even remember playing it. But Xbox Cloud saves remembered where I was left off, and when I booted up my Series X and turned it on, it just like it synced the save and it started me right where I had left off, and it was amazing and I loved it. And then I tried to do something similar on my PlayStation 5, and I had to go dig through some menu screens, and then my save wasn't even like the most recent save that I had on my PlayStation 4. It was real frustrating.
It sounds like it. It sounds like that is no fun, no good, very bad.
Yeah. It's the worst. I hope they fix it. I'm doubtful, but I guess we'll see.
I think I only have honorables. I really like that the Xbox is going through puberty, so it has all kinds of pimples all over it. It has the bumpies. It's just nice to feel the bumpies. And I know that like over the years as I play games on it, like they're gonna like get like filed down by my ravenous hand movement. So it's just nice now that I can still feel the bumpiness and be like, oh yes, this is a new controller. I can feel it. Yeah. Another thing is they are like super quiet. I haven't heard my system once in gameplay, so that's been really cool. And you don't really realize how much you hear your console like it's just like one of those things, like someone having a fan on the AC on or whatever. Like you just kind of get
Yeah.
used to it, like that white noise. But like it was almost weird that I couldn't hear stuff from the console. And
Oh,
then
definitely.
and then the last one, I don't really know much about this because I don't have a PlayStation, but it's like the game guides and the cards that they have for the different games. It seems like for the PlayStation specific ones, it's really cool how they can like show you your trophy progress or like how far. And I don't know if that's on your list, but like I thought, I was just like, oh, the cards are kind of cool. That's fun.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. I was playing through Astro's Playroom, which is phenomenal, by the way. And I was looking for one of the collectibles in a level, and I was like, well, I'm not like seriously playing this game, so I don't mind looking this up on the internet rather than throwing myself at it for hours on end. But instead of pulling out my phone and doing a Google search, I just pressed the PlayStation button and it knew exactly which one I was looking for. I clicked on the little card. There was like a 15-second clip of exactly which collectible I was looking for and how to get to it, and it was very cool. I don't think I'll use that a ton, but it was awesome.
Yeah, it's like the Game Sharks built into the game, or like the cheat guide. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm into it. Whatever. All right, Brando. Any other mentions for you, honorable or dishonorable?
Yeah, just one more dishonorable, and that is the size of the upgrades for the Xbox Series X and S optimizations for games, and of course it's the same on the PlayStation, but just the way that it's presented on the Xbox is a little bit different. But yeah, like the Assassin's Creed Valhalla update for next gen was like 50 gigs.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Why?
that's a full game right there,
Yeah, dog.
all for
That's like
some.
50 indie games because not all of them are even a gig.
Yeah, it's redonkulous. I hope that they really get better at optimizing storage space for these big games.
I have about 30 games on my system right now, and I'm
Mhm.
about 50% of my hard drive, which is, I think, pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, you play a lot of indie games though. I assume a lot of those are smaller games.
True, true, true. Yeah, my only real big games are like Destiny and Star Wars.
For sure. Yeah, I've got like I think the exact opposite. I've got almost exclusively like big first and third party games that all are, pretty much 50 gigs plus. That being said, actually this ties very nicely into my number 4 pick if you're ready to start with that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so my number 4 pick is the storage expansion on the Xbox Series X cuz man, I can fit so many games on this thing.
So I'm guessing that's equal but opposite for PlayStation, right? It's just like, why no storage expansion?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the big difference is like I actually purchase my PlayStation games, whereas most of the things that I play on my Xbox are like Game Pass. So there's stuff downloaded on my Xbox right now that I may never play. Like I just have them there because I can. Whereas I'm not running into storage space on my PlayStation yet. But like especially with trophies like saving video clips now, it will definitely be an issue in the very near future.
Yeah, because I have like Gears Tactics downloaded. Will I ever play it? Who knows? But it's there.
Yeah. But yeah, I love the storage expansion and how like easy it was to set up and how quick it recognized the expansion. And I just love seeing all those games on my Xbox.
Gotta love it. You definitely do. Yeah, the I guess the memory expansion. Like, I don't love the price of the extra terabyte like hard drive you have to buy, but also you could just buy not that, and you can just buy a third party one, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. So like and from my understanding, I not even my understanding, I've seen it firsthand. Like you can play backwards compatible games from like a third party
External, yeah.
expansion. Yeah, like no issue. Like I watched my dad play Mass Effect off of his external expansion. You really only need the fancy Seagate Xbox, manufactured one if you're playing like optimized games. But it is pretty neat that I was able to effectively double my storage space with that little tiny card. It is very very tiny, very rinky dink.
I agree. Super neat, super nifty, hecka nice.
Elijah, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is the fast setup because I had the Xbox app on my phone and it was just like, bro, scan this QR code. And then like while it was doing the update, I got to like fiddle with all my settings, and then when the update was done, the day one like download thing, it was just all ready. Like it was so like I was just like, oh, cool, man. You know what's nice? Not having to like spend 5 hours on this. And like even with a new like I even feel like when you port your phone over and you do a new phone, it takes way longer than how this setup was. It was so quick. I was really excited.
Yeah. So I unfortunately could not get the Xbox set up to work on my phone. Like I would scan the QR code and it was like setting up your Xbox or whatever. Or it gave me an option to like click continue, but it like never went through. But it was still super fast. I mean, it carried over all of my settings and preferences from my Xbox One X, even like my background picture, which I think was like a screenshot from a Gears of War 5 trophy. It was all there instantly.
And you're just like, ew, why do I have this now? I need something new for my sexy new console.
Yeah, no, I reverted it to like one of the default ones that they have actually.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I was like, because like my old Ori trophy one looked kind of all like weird and not like blown out or anything. It just like I felt dirty having that old background on a new console. I was like, oh no, I need something prettier. Cool.
Yeah, definitely. PlayStation did have a very similar setup process. I didn't have to sign into like my PlayStation Network account on my PlayStation. I just did it from my phone. I think I don't remember if it was a QR code or if it was like a little 6-digit pin that generated on the screen, and then I put it in my app. But yeah, it was very nice, and I definitely wasn't expecting that. You know, when we were leading up to the new consoles, of course, I was watching tons and tons of coverage on what media thought of each system. And that was something that they never talked about, which was so interesting. So yeah, it was a very nice surprise.
Yeah, definitely. What's your number 3, friend?
Ray tracing.
Ooh, baby. I don't know if I have a TV that's good enough to like really show me the traces of the rays, but you tell me about your those rays stinging your eyes with the beautifulness.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, right, most games that are out these days, especially on the PlayStation, they have either a fidelity mode or a performance mode. So, you'll either favor a higher frame rate, or now in the case of PlayStation 5, ray tracing, which is essentially just like much better lighting effects and reflections and whatnot. And man, Miles Morales is the best looking game ever, thanks to ray tracing.
Yeah, those reflections on all those buildings, right?
Yeah, man. Even on like I don't remember which suit it was, but it might have just been like the classic suit. But like you can see the reflection of the street off of like the shiny part on his like spider symbol on his back. It's ridiculous.
Wow, I did not know that. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's just, do I have the right TV and setup to take advantage of some of this stuff? I don't know yet, but we'll have to see because Gears Tactics is like X and S optimized, but it didn't look that great to me. So I'm like, maybe I need to play Gears 5 instead of Tactics just to kind of like see the difference.
Yeah, I noticed the same thing. I wasn't impressed with the visuals of Gears Tactics. Also, they rendered the cutscenes at like 24 frames per second, even though the game plays in 60. I don't know. It's weird.
That's very weird.
Anyways,
Yeah, that's a weird thing. What a weird
uh,
thing.
a lot of my PlayStation friends and I have been having pretty heated discussions about which is better, like 60 frames per second or ray tracing, and I think it really will depend on the game itself. But I did switch over to I'm playing Miles New Game Plus so I can get my platinum trophy, and I switched over to 60 frames per second for my New Game Plus playthrough because I played it in fidelity with ray tracing on for my first playthrough. And I got about an hour in and I was like, all right, I am ready to switch back to ray tracing.
I think maybe the 120 frames is like better for shooters, and then the 60 with the best like the highest fidelity or the ray tracing and all that might be better for third person games. But who's to say?
Who indeed? Elijah, let's move on. Let's talk about your number 3.
Dude, mine's the simplest thing in the entire world. It's just like that little hint of green at the top of the Xbox that you like when you're standing at different angles, you sit down, you walk in the room, and you just catch that hint of green through the little dots for your heat vent. It just makes me smile. I don't know why. I like it. It's one of my favorite things about the new console because it reminds me, oh yeah, this is an Xbox. Like not that it's just not just some,
black mini refrigerator.
Yeah, exactly. I like walk by and I'm like, ooh, look at that.
Yeah, I wish I got to see more of it. So I have mine laying horizontally, which looks kind of goofy if I'm being honest. But um, yeah, I do wish that I could see that. Can we talk about the ping pong balls for a second?
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah, so if you don't know, um, the fan, most of the heat is expelled through the top of the Xbox, where Elijah was mentioning he sees the green at the top. Um, the fan itself is very quiet, but it's actually powerful enough that once it kicks on, you can put a ping pong ball above the fan, and it will float the ping pong ball, so the ping pong ball will be lifted up by the air, and it won't touch the console itself. And Elijah, I love your tweet about how we need some Microsoft branded like Cortana like ping pong balls, and just like different Microsoft characters,
Anyone,
because I would
Blinks the
buy that.
cat, Banjo's face, like I don't know, a plasma grenade, like anything that could be circular that could just float and just chill above your console.
Yeah, definitely, 100%, 100%. Yeah, but that's cool. I like that you enjoy that as much as you do. I think it's a nice feature. I wish because I think in the initial reveal of the console itself, it had like a glow to it, and I kind of wish it did that. But I mean, I get it. It's not a PC. It can't be RGB all the time for everything.
Yeah, that would be funny if it was like LEDs and like brown, like it's a gaming console. Yeah, get your Mountain Dew Code Red. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, definitely.
Tell me your number two, pal.
My number two, actually a little bit of a two-parter here.
Okay.
So, first part is just very general, very broad, the loading speeds of these things, because goddamn, dude, it's quicker than quick.
They fast. They're really shaving years off our lives. What were we doing before, right?
Yeah, it was definitely an adjustment that first week, not being able to like check my phone during loading screens. It was weird.
When there was the loading times, that's when you'd like text your friends back or you'd flip through Twitter or whatever it was. Like especially me and Destiny loading between planets and activities and stuff. There was always downtime, but now it's just what?
Yeah, definitely. Um, it's insane. Like, if you haven't seen it, definitely go look at the Miles Morales loading screen comparison for the PS5 to the PS4. There are certain portions of the game that don't even need a loading screen. Like, you can launch out of a building into the city, and normally there would be a loading screen there on the PlayStation 4 version, but on the PlayStation 5, you're just outside. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like not a sexy thing to say, like oh, like because like people they want to say dual sense, they want to say oh it has VR, it has it's oh instead of it like we went from 16-bit to 64-bit, we didn't even do 32. What like like it's there's not like that like sexy buzzword, but seriously, the load times is like it is the reason to get these, I would say, for anyone, right?
Oh, 100%. And I think it's hard to show it in video, because I watched a lot of comparison videos before the consoles were released to the general public. Um, and I was like, wow, okay, cool, I guess. But then I got them and I experienced them firsthand, and I was like, whoa! Like, it was, yeah, I would agree. The loading speeds for sure are probably the biggest selling point for the consoles. It's insane. I even on even on older games, not even like optimized games. I think the thing that surprised me the most was, um, as our regular listeners know, I get down on some Star Wars Battlefront 2. And I played it on the PlayStation 5 for the first time a couple days ago, and the multiplayer lobbies, they carry over from game to game, and I was loading into those lobbies much quicker than everybody. I'm talking like 45 seconds, where it looked like I was the only person in that lobby, and then everybody else loaded in.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was crazy.
Well, then that's the other thing. Like, you start to realize that your friends, when they're playing on scrub consoles, that like how much better you're just like, oh, now they're holding me up. What a bunch of effing losers.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think of it that way, but now I will. So if you want to play with me,
You better be on that PS5 or that Xbox Series X, you scrubs.
yeah. And then the second part of my number two here was quick resume on Xbox, because dog, That's insane. It's insane. You could just pick up wherever you left off on games that support it, and you can bounce. I think it supports up to 4 games at a time. So I like booted up Ori and the Will of the Wisps just to check out the 120 frames per second very briefly, and then
Nice.
I switched back over to, I think, I don't remember which one it was. It might have been Forza, but like I'm talking 10 seconds, and I didn't have to go through any menu screens. I didn't have to see any like of the stupid logo screens that everybody hates and you can't skip. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, loading speeds is my number 2, Elijah.
It's an excellent number 2, friend.
Well, let's hear yours.
My number 2 is that I found one. Haha, suck it, everyone else. I have one and you don't. No, I mean, I hope that you have one. Is actually what I honestly hope. But if not, like the internet has been showing, just like how dare you take a Xbox or PlayStation away from a kid that could open one on Christmas, as the internet has been saying, and I've been saying on multiple podcasts, man, f them kids.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I feel no remorse about having these. Yeah.
Both consoles. Oh, you double did it. I only single did it, but you double did it, dude.
Double F them kids.
You know,
Yeah.
when you say with the kids with the double, it's a little weird. I'm gonna I'm gonna pivot away from this one. Let's go to your number 1, buddy.
My number 1 is the DualSense.
All right. I felt like this was coming. So I think the biggest question I have for you is that do you actually think that devs will devote the time to do all of the it can do? Because I know it's impressive, the haptics, the 3D audio, the 3D rumble, like all the stuff, it sounds incredible. But do you actually think that when an Ubisoft has the SKU for Valhalla coming out on PC, it's coming out on Xbox One, Xbox, it's Stadia, it's coming all these places, Steam, PC, all of these things, do you actually think they're going to put the time and effort into making it exclusively unique on PlayStation?
So that was one of the big things that I think I was worried about coming into the next generation, as far as that goes. I know specifically, like, for the PlayStation 4, like one of the big, I guess, sellers was like the light bar on the front, which, like, first of all, why? But whatever. I only saw it used effectively, I don't know, maybe a dozen times throughout the PlayStation 4's life cycle. It was cool in like Grand Theft Auto 5 when it would flash blue and red whenever the cops were chasing you. But aside from like a few small things like that, like it really, you know, like you said, nobody was spending the time on it. But with the DualSense, I don't have that worry. Just because, I mean, one, for starters, like all of the first party PlayStation games will for sure do it. Um, Two, this is a big talking point for the PlayStation. Like media outlets, people who cover gaming news, like the DualSense is the talk of the town. Aside from loading speeds and graphics, like DualSense is where it's at. That's what people are talking about. And 3, of course, apparently, I haven't seen it myself in firsthand, but apparently in Call of Duty Cold War, each different gun or type of gun has like a different trigger resistance, or like a trigger pop off for like the recoil. So it's already got some pretty decent support.
Okay. I mean, and that's why I wanted to ask, because that feature just sounds so ridiculous to me. Like what you're saying, like each gun having a different, like, almost kickback with the triggers. That just sounds crazy town.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it's,
But in a good way, a crazy town.
yeah, again, like it's one of those things that you have to experience to really. There's no good way to describe it with words, I don't think. There's some cool videos on YouTube where it'll show a guy. He does like a side view of the controller and like pushes down on the triggers to show like where the resistance is at, and then I think he even like grades the resistance on a scale from like 1 to 10. So there's stuff out there that can kind of explain it to you in a way where you can understand, what to expect when you try it out for yourself. But yeah, it's really one of those things that you have to experience for yourself. Because I think if you were to play, Astro's Playroom, I think you'd be sold on it
I'd be a
immediately.
believer. Yeah. Well, and I've actually heard it described as VR for my hands. Like that's the smartest way that I've heard it described. It's like it's VR for your hands when you're playing a game. But see, Brandon, what I think you have to remember about me specifically is that I'm the person who turns off Rumble on my controllers because it bothers me. So I think more stuff would irritate me.
Yeah, I could see that. You probably wouldn't like Astro's Playroom then. I didn't experience this, but I heard in one portion of the game, it's like hailing, and you can feel like each little hail droplet hit Astro's little umbrella. And apparently, I heard one of my friends say that it was so intense that it was actually messing with the button input, and he died like 3 separate times on that one portion of the game because it wouldn't register his like second pressing of the X button. So I
That's
again,
crazy
not something I experienced, but something I have heard.
that someone had mentioned. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, like I said, man, like it's not that I don't believe how immersive it is, but like also I've played one game in VR and only desired to ever play one game in VR because it was a not Kingdom Hearts, it was a Psychonauts story, and the
mhm.
only way to play it was in VR. So it's not like I've ever been like hell yeah VR, because like Beat Saber, very cool, but also I don't know, like I think just with my contacts and my glasses, it's something where I get dizzy, or it doesn't, I don't think work necessarily for me. Or maybe I'm just like old man is in upset and like is just in I'm yelling at cloud as it's hailing on me and giving me 3D audio or whatever, super rumble, and I'm just like, yeah man, I just really want to play the game. I don't know if I want all this extra. And I know it's immersion, but like I said, like even with the freaking Wii U and the Wii, like I would like lay on the couch and be lazier with their controller rather than being up and swinging it the way they needed me to. I'd just be like minimal motion, like meh.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of complaints about like, I've got to work harder to pull the trigger. No, thank you. um,
Hard
but
out. Yeah.
I don't know. I like it. I hope it gets a lot of support from both first party and third party. And I'm excited to see what some developers can do if it does get the support that I think it deserves.
I'm excited. I mean, because I mean, it seems like it would go hand in hand with whatever Sony wants to do with their like future of their VR headset and maybe making that
Hmm.
more cordless and whatever. So that's exciting.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, Elijah, it's that time. What's your number one, buddy?
We already talked about it. It's low times, dude. Like it's really
Oh,
shaving time off my life. It's great. It's really just making me feel happy on the inside. Because I just did not realize how much of my life I wasted on load screens. So kudos to the Xbox. 9 seconds in, just boom, just doing everything immediately.
have you noticed any downsides or anything to the load speeds aside from like again like not texting our moms back or whatever?
Yeah, no, there's like lore things that pop up on load screens. Like in Star Wars Republic Commando, there would be like little snippets about the planet or like dialogues between characters and stuff that would be on load screens, and that is just a thing of the past. That's you can't. It loads so fast you can't even read them. Like you get like 2 words in, and just like Jeff went to Starkiller, just like immediately new planet. Like okay,
I will say the one thing that I don't like about it is that right there exactly in Godfall on PlayStation 5, like it's so quick that the load screen is like distracting. Like I feel like I'm being like strobed or flashed or something. Like they need
oh.
to I think they need to do away with like actual load screens and do some sort of like fade out and fade in or something, because like it's just whatever what they're doing right now with that, it's not pleasant to look at.
And I've heard Godfall is not very good at all.
The intro is absolutely terrible, maybe one of the worst games I've ever played, but after it opens up it's pretty fun.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Oh, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to the end once again of another episode of the Top Four or More podcast. It's just a good time to have these next gen games. You can find me on Twitter at Mario RPGino. You can find Brandon at Mr. Snow 97. As always, thanks again to the Project Nerd Gaming Network. Check out projectnerd.com for all your good gaming and geeky goodness needs. Get over there and check it out. But other than that, Brandon, do you have anything else for us, friend?
I hope everybody who wants a new console gets one. If you're a scalper, I hate you and goodbye.
Except them kids. F them kids.